All right, I'm going to show you a little bit now about working on the foundations of rhythm, timing, and movement. We know that a lot of our vision therapy activities use a metronome, but most kids on the spectrum are going to really have trouble with basic metronome stuff. You'll also find this very helpful for any of your patients that are amblyopes or strabismics, because they also seem to have a lot of trouble with time. So the most fundamental thing I've found is to use a rebounder or a very small trampoline. Now, they should always be in sock feet, not with their shoes on this. And the reason we call it a rebounder is we're not actually jumping. I always want them just bouncing and keeping in contact with the surface. Now you'll notice that this has a regular period. I cannot go faster or slower on this. If you bounce, it'll go the same speed. And everybody who gets on this will bounce at the same speed. And the tempo is regulated primarily by the size of the surface and the tension of the springs. It's very much like with our Marsden ball or a pendulum. The only thing that matters is actually the length of the string. So I want them to just stand on it and get a feel for going up and down. Now some of them may be scared of this in the beginning, and holding their hands or letting them hold you or hold the back of a chair, something to give them stability, can be very helpful. Once we get the basic pattern going, I'm going to want to see if we can get them to clap with the bounce. So clap at the bottom would be like, then we can also begin to try to see if we can get them to clap every other time they hit the bottom. Now, we all know if we're looking at the walking rail, we talk about one step every 2 clicks, and this is beginning to get to that. So if we start so that's 1 clap for every 2 bounces. As you're working with this, and if any of you work with any musicians, it also turns out this is a wonderful way to begin to work on the fundamentals of rhythm, where you can work off beats. That would be clapping at the top. So and then you can work triplets. This is a little a little fast for triplets, but so I'm starting 1 every time I hit the bottom. Then you could do bounce 2 3, bounce 2 3, etc., and do more and more complex patterns. And this becomes a very good way for the budding young musician to begin to learn basic rhythmic patterns.